question. I have no idea about an answer.
Okay, it's very individualized. It depends on what the situation with each tribe. Like I said, some tribes are very supportive of their charter schools, and others don't have the resources to give to their charter schools. I'm not sure about the JOM situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Is someone else, can they answer the question about JOM?
Well, I was going to say, we have a charter school on the Indian tribe reservation, and we have the JOM money goes to our tribal education department, and then they so we've got a JOM tutor that actually is assigned to our school, just as it is to the other local schools. And that's just the way we do it. I'm sure it's different in other places, but the JOM goes to that tribal education department, and they kind of dig out what resources we get as a school.
Okay.
Yeah, the JOM fundings are distributed to the tribes, and then, and I'm just speaking on that, but naturally they're distributed to the tribes, and the tribes take care of those, and then you apply and have those things taken care of. They're, what do they call them? Oh, forgive me, but anyways, only tribes can have that access to JOM, and that's how they're given to them. But we deal with Title VII and Impact Aid, and just where I work, those two programs themselves bring in about $500,000 that the public school has control over. So when he mentioned tax dollars, you know, those that live on there, you should be able to apply for those Title VIII, you know, or Impact Aid funds, and then that comes in, and they can be spent however the school decides.
Sure.
You know, so that's why, just where I'm at, that alone, just with those two federal grants, is a large income for an idea such as a charter school there.
I think.
And that's a really good thought. And as I was listening to the study, Title III is bilingual money, and so for schools that are language immersion, they would be able to access those funds too. Yeah, the Title III money, say for the language immersion schools we saw in the study. And again, I talked briefly about it before, funding for charter schools in general, no matter what kinds of kids go to charter schools, is a challenge in every state law, because somehow or another there's this sense of a student goes to a charter school, therefore not as much, they're not worth, and I hate to sound so crass about that, but they're just simply not worth that same amount of money. But I think, you know, going to the study, the advocacy for tribal control over charter school law, I would say advocacy in general over, you know, parent advocacy for charter school legislation, make sure that funding is equalized, that the kids that deserve and need those federal funds are receiving those federal funds no matter what kind of school they go to. I'm sort of a policy geek, and so for me it really all goes back to how do we mobilize parents' voices and the grassroots effort to impact what education law says in general, but specifically charter school legislation. But one other point, I think it's true that districts control a lot of those funds. So with the charter school serving Native American kids, ideally those funds would follow the student into the charter school. So I don't want to pretend it's that simple, but ideally that's how it would work.